how does someone like me with zero certifications end up building a $4 million coaching business? No teaching degree, no official coaching certification, and no family of coaches paving the way. What I did have was something better. Before the internet ever knew my name, I was working at one of the biggest banks in the world in New York City, managing $50 million portfolios for ultra high net worth individuals. On paper, I had the perfect career. In reality, the gap between that job and a 7-figure education business was messy. Lots of doubt, lots of skepticism, and lots of who am I to do this? So if you've been telling yourself you can't coach because you don't have a certification, this video is for you, because by the end of it, I'm going to show you one of two things. One, why your life experience is the only certification you actually need to build a coaching business. And two, how to build unshakable confidence from proof and results, not a piece of paper. But to explain how I got here, we need to rewind a few years. You see, I'm a daughter of 2 immigrants. My parents were born in Italy, they met in America, but it really taught me and instilled in me these beliefs around working hard. So I think when you're a first generation American woman, or at least in my experience, what I found was that I always found myself understanding that anything good you want in life comes from hard work. Now, I won't get into all the childhood trauma and all the things that being hardworking left me with on the negative side, but let's talk about how that turned into a positive. You see, it shapes everything I do. Money, success, the way I think about decisions in my life. But you see, I took this all the way almost a little too far that, my parents are entrepreneurs. So I wanted to live the American dream, thinking my mom sent me to college and I'm gonna get this job on Wall Street. And I felt so proud on paper, but I felt so empty on the inside. And it was because I had this little secret. And my little secret was that I was $25,000 in debt, but I was studying to be a financial advisor, aka helping people manage their money when deep down I couldn't even manage my money myself. And this is when I actually realized that certifications are bullshit, because I was a certified financial advisor, but I was $25,000 in debt. They never asked to check my bank account. They never asked to check my results. So I was gallivanting around trying to build a book of business to help people with $50 million in net worth manage their portfolio. That's absurd. And this changed everything for me when it came to who I want to hire, who I want to be, and the kind of business I want to build. When I think back on that career, it's not just that I hated corporate, it's the fact that I felt like this giant fraud. So not only did this job teach me that certifications are bullshit, it also got me around some really important people. And when I say important people, I'm talking about the ultra rich. I remember at the time, my boss was making $3 million a year and I couldn't even fathom it. He invited the entire team to a backyard party at his house. There was 10 of us there. And this house was $12 million in Westchester, New York. And being around this kind of energy and seeing how much money is really out there and just even seeing the insides and the bank accounts of our clients, I really understood that money is abundant. So all this time, I had this greater goal that I wanted to make more money. I wanted to tap into that abundance. I wanted to be successful like that, but I knew I wasn't going to get that from my job. So the first step in doing that and not feeling like an imposter was actually paying off this debt. So I went down this entire self-improvement and personal development rabbit hole. And what I started to learn was this one super important thing. You have to build skills before you can actually be successful. So I started binging all the free content I could. Remember, I was in debt. I didn't have money to buy courses. So I binged Gary V, and I actually took that content literally. I went flipping my clothes, starting a Poshmark account, and I did literally everything in my power. I just hustled my way to get $25,000 out of debt. And once I did that, I realized that I now could actually build and start from a blank space. So after I became debt-free, I started to ask myself, what can I post content about? So I literally just tried posting content about everything. mindset, spirituality, money, how I became debt-free, money mindset, literally everything. Was I an expert yet? Absolutely not, but I was definitely one step ahead of somebody else, and that's what I led with. So I started creating this content, and the number one type of content that stuck with people was the spirituality. So I was talking all about law of attraction and manifestation, and I built my expertise through actually doing the thing. So in my content, I was only talking about the results that I had actually experienced in my life. So, for example, I started talking about manifestation and how I use the law of attraction to pay off my debt. And it was so interesting, right? Because paying off debt and money and finance is super tactical, but I took a more spiritual approach to it. So that is what made me interesting. And interesting people are the ones that grow brands. So what I started doing was I started creating so much content to a point where I got so much data and feedback, and I grew my TikTok following over 100,000 people in 2021. So when I asked myself, who are the creators that I love and admire and really enjoy consuming their content, it was always educational creators. Gary Vee, Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, Alex Hormozi. Yes, I was following those people at these times. And I realized that I really, really valued educational content. And that's when I started making the pivot. It was less about me living in my dream apartment in New York City, and it was actually talking about how I got there and the manifestation techniques and the different things that I was doing in my day-to-day life. And if you even want to go back in time and see all of everything I'm talking to you about here, you could literally go back to some of my oldest YouTube videos where I have a Trader Joe's haul or moving into my New York City apartment tour and all these different things. So as you can see, creators need to evolve. And the really interesting piece was when I kind of stopped wanting to be this lifestyle creator and started dropping more educational content. I started receiving DMs from people saying, Giulia, do you coach, or can I hire you to be my mindset coach? And it was crazy because I got 3 DMs in 1 week where people were asking me if I do any sort of coaching. And this is what opened my eyes to an all new possibility. Now, I was really young at the time. I was like 23 years old, and I was like, I can't be a life coach. I haven't experienced any life yet, right? It's that common thread of when I was a financial advisor, I literally could not do things that were making me feel like a fraud or an imposter. So what I did was I told them, sure, I can help you with spirituality and I can help you with mindset because I'm good at those things. So that is how I got into the niche of mindset and manifestation. And then what I did was I started upscaling and up-leveling my skills in business. So this is where it gets really interesting because as a creator, an educational creator or a coach, you have one part of your business that's your niche expertise. For me was mindset and manifestation. And then the other part, which is business. So what I find is that a lot of people have niche expertise, like you could be a registered dietitian, you could be a fitness coach, you could be a stylist, but you need to also learn the business skills and you need to up-level your business. So here's why I had 0 imposter syndrome when people were asking me to coach them. It was because I only ever taught things that I had actually experienced in my own life. And if you want to learn exactly how you could do this too, check the first link in the description because I created a free 7-day email course where I teach you how you can turn your personal brand into profit, and I'll send you day 1. So what I want to share with you here is that you are never going to be a fraud if you're talking about real things that happen to you. So I think a lot of people want to be content creators, but they don't actually have anything interesting about them. So you would think it would be the most obvious thing ever that if you don't have results in your life, you shouldn't be teaching about it. But the truth is, the only way you're able to successfully grow and scale a coaching business is that you are actually doing in your life. You've already achieved the thing that you are teaching other people to do, and then you just repeat that transformation over and over and over again in a faster, more efficient way for other people. So this is the core point that I want to drive home with you here. Your proof and your credibility is going to be built through authenticity. You have to create things in your life. You have to live an interesting life. You have to be able to get results for yourself if you ever want to get results for other people. So at this point in the video, you should be asking yourself, which type of person am I? Am I the person that actually needs to go out and build my skills, get results in my own life, and then teach other people? Or are you the person that's just questioning everything and having this fake imposter syndrome when you know you're the expert at what you do? So realize being an expert does not mean you are perfect. For example, you could be a fitness coach and a registered dietitian and blah, 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 blah. But maybe you still have days where you struggle with eating, mindset, whatever it is. You're a human being, not a human doing. So you have to understand that you have to have your own coaches and your own mentors, and you have to keep investing in your own continuing education to up-level your skills. So the real way that you're going to build a coaching business to multiple millions of dollars is through building proof in your own life. Doing the thing that you want to teach other people to do, not just once, not just twice, many times over, and actually getting far beyond that result so that when you go to sell a coaching offer, you are able to give them 10x the ROI of what they paid you. You see, the coaching industry wants you to think you need some sort of certification as a stamp of approval, but that is bullshit. Your people want results. And when you can get them results because you've already gotten those results in your life, that is what makes the difference between a coach and a mentor. You want to genuinely mentor people saying, I have walked this path. Now I want to show you exactly how to do it easier and more efficient. I've helped over 400 niched experts through the Creator to Cashflow Academy, which is my program that helps online coaches, course creators, and service providers scale their businesses organically by getting clients from social media in less than 2 hours a week. And what I've learned from all of these amazing niche experts that I've helped, the best ones question themselves. They ask themselves, do I have enough certifications? Do I have enough proof? And the truth is, if you're asking yourself that question, you definitely do. Because the people that don't, that doesn't even go through their mind. So what you want to think about now is you're ready to actually take action. You have enough proof. You have the results in your own life. And if that's you, go ahead and click the link in the description and let's schedule a business audit call with either me or my team. What we're going to do is we're going to actually look at your expertise and talk about not only how can you package it into a high ticket offer and scale it, but how can you actually get more of your ideal clients in front of you with organic social media. And this isn't a fluffy audit. We are actually going to give you a 90-day plan that you can walk away with, and you can actually use it to build, grow, and scale your business to where you want to get to over the next 6, 12, 18 months. Because we're just going to lay the foundation, but it is something that you can build on top of year after year. And finally, if you want to learn the one Instagram strategy that has made me millions of dollars over the last few years as a high-ticket online coach, go ahead and watch this video next, and I'll see you there.